Hi there, I'm Katy Rose and welcome to the Rooted Reinvention, a podcast exploring the real-world journey of reinventing who we are without burning out or burning our whole life down. I teach people how to make lasting change by melding my Masters of Neuroscience and my Cognitive Therapy qualification with common self-help tools, spiritual concepts, and my personal experience. Because being yourself doesn't need to feel so damn hard. To get more information on podcast episodes, please visit rootedreinvention.com/podcast. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Whenever and wherever you're listening to this, welcome to the podcast. Today I want to talk about knowledge and the limitations of knowledge. And I say this as someone who has multiple degrees. I have a bachelor's in psychology, I have a master's in cognitive neuroscience, I am qualified as a low intensity cognitive behaviour therapy practitioner. I'm a qualified life coach. I have done all of the courses, I have got all of the labels, I have all of the knowledge, apparently, according to the world and what is valued. And I would say that pretty much in every situation, knowledge is not enough by itself. On paper, I have all of the skills that anyone should possibly need to live a happy and healthy and fulfilling life. And a lot of the time, I feel like I'm on the right track with that. I'm not going to lie and say, but I'm rubbish at everything, because I'm not. However, I'm human. I grew up with the cultural understanding of the shoulds and musts of my society, of the lessons I learned as a child from those around me. And I've had to deprogram. I've had to undo the programming of a lot of things. As I have learned things on a conceptual, academic level, I have then had to learn how to apply those to my life. And having been doing this for over a decade, in fact close to 2, I feel like I'm pretty good at generally applying these lessons. And yet, there are times, there are minutes, there are hours, there are days, there are weeks on occasion where I cannot apply these cognitive skills. I know that I should eat healthily and exercise daily. I know that eating a healthy meal will make me feel better in an hour than if I eat chocolate instead of making a proper meal. And yet, at times, the knowledge alone is not enough to lead to me taking that action, to altering my behaviour. And it's important to remember that this isn't something that I need to fix. I'm not broken. This is exactly how humans work. We are more complex than that. And that's okay. A lot of the things I talk about on this podcast are the shoulds and musts. They're the expectations set upon us by our culture and our experiences. And it's important to recognise that whatever our experiences are, whatever knowledge we have, however many certificates or letters after our name we have, that everything we see and do and feel is neutral. It's the meaning we assign to it, it's the labels that impact us, and it's okay for them not to make sense, and it's okay for us and our experiences not to match what seems to be a logical fact. I can run to get an ice cream before the van goes away, or I can run away from a spider. In both cases, I'm running. My body is in that kind of adrenaline state, my muscles are moving, I'm paying attention to where I'm going, I'm thinking about my end goal. The only difference is what I'm focusing on in terms of the story I'm telling myself about why I'm running. We as humans are naturally gifted in seeing patterns in things and themes, of putting puzzle pieces together, of working out that if X is Y and Y is Z, then X is Z, of kind of coming up with the logical patterns, of seeing famous people's faces in pieces of burnt toast. Like, we just see patterns and themes and meaning in everything. And it's one of the greatest things that we are and do and have as human beings, in my opinion. It's that creativity that I love. And so when I am trying to almost know myself better in a situation where I'm trying to use knowledge to fix something, it's so important to remember that A, does this actually need fixing? And B, what other skills are needed? What other experience is there? What stories am I telling myself? How am I feeding my body? What am I doing? What's my behaviour like in regard to this particular problem? And I've been reading a book this week called The Illustrated Happiness Trap. And it's basically an illustrated version of the book The Happiness Trap, which I will link in the show notes. It's a book about acceptance and commitment therapy, so it's a different type of therapy to the one that I have a background in. And it says, if I let this thought guide what I do, will it help me create the life that I want? And I think about this in terms of, well, if I have that last slice of cake, will it help me create the life I want? Probably not if I'm trying to eat healthily and look after myself and I've already had 4 slices today. So kind of asking that question, if I let this thought guide me and I do X, will that help me get to where I want to go? And again, this reminds me of, what need am I meeting? Which is a big question that I'm often trying to ask myself when I remember. Again, the knowledge is there. The application isn't always, because I'm human. But when I remember to ask, what need am I meeting? Do I want comfort, or do I want energy in an hour's time? In which case I might go and have a salad instead of that 4th slice of cake. So if you take nothing else from this episode, please just remember that we are human, and to be human is to have neutral experiences, to give them a label or try and make sense of them or give them meaning. This doesn't mean we're broken, this means we're human, and we don't understand everything, and not everything can be fixed with enough knowledge. Sometimes you have to go through things to understand them. Sometimes you have to use trial and error to see what works and what doesn't. Sometimes the things you know aren't actually knowledge, they're opinion, they're thoughts, they're theories. And it's okay to question that. It's okay for knowledge to not be enough. I think this is something I've always struggled to put into words, because yes, I have all of the degrees and qualifications and certifications, and yet I'm a human being. I have thoughts and feelings and behaviours that don't technically line up with what I would recommend for someone. And that's okay. So wherever and whenever you are, as you listen to this, know that it's okay to be where you are and who you are whenever you are. And that as much as some of us feel like, oh, if I only knew more, if I only had more expertise, if I only did that next certification, if I only understood X, we all struggle to apply the things we know will help us in the moment. And that's okay. Because the other thing we have innately as humans is that we persevere, we persist. And that's knowledge plus consistently experiencing things and seeing what works and experimenting. That is how we grow and learn and expand and evolve. Thank you so much for listening. I hope that you are well. And until next week, take care. Bye.
Thanks for listening, and as always, you can find out more at rootedreinvention.com. Take care, remember you are more capable than you often realise, and I'll see you next time. Bye!